Welcome back, guys. My name's Callum. Now, setting up SSB audio for your transceiver in the modern day is actually very easy. But somebody mentioned the other day that he specifically asked for a video is, can you show me how to set up ALC? There's a little bit more to it. We've got a balancing act between your mic gain, your ALC, processor or compressor, but very often in ham radio it's called processor. And then you've got the output, you know, your power gain. So on a new radio, and if you're an old timer, feel free to correct me, but this is what I do. On a new radio, we get the ALC kicking, so it's not in the red. So I've got on my screen here, and I'm on a frequency. Is the frequency in use? So you can see that my voice peaks are going way over the top. ALC stands for automatic level control. It's basically measuring the amount of audio coming into the front end of the audio chain. Okay, and it's telling you your mic gain's too high, right? Now, I happen to know on a Kenwood that it's telling me my mic gain's too high, but it's actually very good at not telling me that it's turned it down inside. Because if you've got a Kenwood, you'll know it's very hard to destroy your mic quality, right? With another radio, it's not necessarily the case. So I've got my processor off at the moment. My power is set to, well, I'm only on 5 watts, but we'll give it a little bit of power. I know, 33 watts it says now. And it's a new radio, and I've got my mic gain on at 12 o'clock. All right, so let's just see what the ALC does. Hello, the quick brown fox. Now you can see it's right to the top. So I need to turn the mic gain down. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Now on digital audio, you probably know we need to get the ALC so it's not showing at all and you process it off. That way you get a super clean signal out on things like RTTY, FT8 and that sort of thing. So I've got no processor now because the processor's been off from the start of the video. And you can see that occasionally it's still very loud. So now, the good thing about the processor, what it does is my very loud voice peaks, it brings down, but it makes up gain for the quieter types. So if you listen to the old AM stations, you'll find the disc jockey or the presenter, it doesn't matter if they talk very quietly or very loudly, you'll find if you really listen hard, you think, oh my God, everything's the same level. It's been compressed and processed so much. It just comes out flat, right? Even if they talk very quietly. And I use a lot of processing in the video you're watching now. I've got limiters and processors and dialogue levelers and all sorts of stuff going on, which is one of the reasons you can hear me breathe very easily, because it's quite a quiet sound. It's bringing that up too, and I don't have that fancy a gear to get rid of my breath. Right, so then we can also watch the power meter at the same time. And you will notice if you're watching the power meter, M0XXT just testing, that it's pretty variable. It can be up to about 25 watts, and then most of the time it can sit at, right now it's sitting at about 2, 3, 4 watts. You don't want that because SSB audio, the amount of power is relative to the amount of audio going in. It's just turning it into SSB. So we now start to apply some tricks. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply the processor. Processor's now in, M0XXT. So now you'll find when I talk, a lot of the time, you will find that my voice peaks are fairly stable. Now I'm trying to make it fairly stable as well, but even so, quieter voices will still be louder than softer voices. You also see the ALC is just about moving and no more, and it's not overshooting. And it's not overshooting because the processor's holding it back. It's bringing the level, the noisy bits down, and it's bringing the quiet bits back up. There's some really fancy processors, right? I've got outboard gear here. I never use it because I've got a radio that just seems to work about that. So I've got my processor engaged. I've got my mic gain correctly set. The quick brown fox, and I can't go into the red, right? If I took the processor off, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You can see it's up and down all over the shot. Processor on, all over the shot. Yeah, I cannot go into the red. So now I know my ALC is set correctly. Now, I'm quite a powerful talker, right? And I am a great believer in watching my power meter to make sure that if I'm set at, and I'm expecting to get 25 watts out the door, I really am getting 25 watts out the door. I sometimes get people on 40 meters and I can hear them, and then they talk very quietly, and then they turn up, and they don't realize that it's not FM, right? It's SSB. The amount of power generated by your radio is absolutely hooked into and synchronized to the amount of audio going in. So I'm a great believer of I just keep my eye on the power meter, because if it starts going down, it means I might have to come away from the microphone or whatever else. So now, some people like talking very far away from their microphone, well, in which case what they'd have to do is turn the bloody mic gain up like that. And that's me at about 9 o'clock. But I don't. I take it right down, 1 2 1 2, right down as much as I can go, and it just works. This is a very good microphone, and and in fact, most microphones you buy for an SSB radio, you can talk close to the microphone. In fact, about 1 inch is fine. Very often on AM, because I've got a very loud voice, or FM, I hold a mic about here, because I notice I can distort, particularly on FM if I'm wide, right? Because we've got narrow, 12.5 kilohertz, wide, 25 kilohertz. So that's if you like, we've got a balancing act between the processor and the ALC, the mic gain, which we've done, and then the power. So now I can just drive the power up, because I'm all set up, and if I want a bit more power, I just keep turning it up, and I've set this radio to maximum. It's a 200 watt radio, but my bandpass filters are only 100 watts. And since I have a 2000 watt amplifier, it doesn't really matter, because I very rarely go above 50 watts. So there we are. That's me on 100 watts, and my voice peaks are probably on the meter here, 80, 90 watts. My ALC isn't going into the red, and everything seems to be work. M0XXT, I've just been testing. Hopefully that's inspired you a little bit and just allowed you to, set up a new radio. If you're an old timer at this, or you've got some good stories about ALC and processors and all that stuff, I'd be interested to hear your comments. But as always, if this is the third or fourth video you've watched of mine, you think, I want to bookmark this guy, be fun to watch him again, remember hit the subscribe button. I can never say remember to hit the subscribe button. It's like it doesn't, come out very well. Or give me a nice comment, right? And a like always goes down, apparently very well. May the force be with you. Enjoy your radio. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.